Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of ChemQuest where we will discuss about the rules of nomenclature of organic compounds. The universal adoption of an agreed nomenclature is a key tool for efficient communication in the chemical sciences, in industry, and for regulations associated with import or export or health and safety. The International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, which is known as IUPAC, provides a recommendation on many aspects of nomenclature. The basics of organic nomenclatures are summarized here in this video. Comprehensive detail can be found in a nomenclature of organic chemistry, which is colloquially known as Blue Book. So, let's start a short trip to naming organic compounds. Substitutive nomenclature is the main method for naming organic compounds. It is used mainly for compounds of carbon and elements of group 13 to 17. For naming purposes, a chemical compound is treated as a combination of a parent compound and characteristic groups, one of which is designated as the principal characteristic group. In brief, a systematic name is based on the name of the most senior parent compound in which the substitution of hydrogen atoms is represented by a suffix for the principal characteristic group. Prefixes represent less senior characteristic groups and other substituent groups, and locants that specify their locations. So, after getting a crisp idea about nomenclature, let's start doing some examples with help of some rules. At the very beginning, I am discussing the nomenclature for saturated parent hydride, which means absence of any double or triple bond in the structure. So we have to follow the table, and from this we can identify, depending on the number of carbon atoms present, we have to do nomenclature. That means it can be explained by, if number of carbon atom present in the compound is 1, then the nomenclature will be meth. Like if it is 2, then it is eth, 3 it is prop, 4 it is but, 5 it is pent, and so on. So we have to use this kind of method for naming the parent compound. Let's do some example. First, go for the longest chain length in compound, and that one is the parent hydride. Then search for the position of substituents if it is present. If substituents are present, then add it as a prefix. So let's do one example. You can see here two compounds are present. So first of all, we have to look for the longest chain, as I have mentioned. So you can see that in this compound, in this way, if we consider, it is a 6-membered chain, and if we consider vertically, the number of carbon elements present in the chain is 5. So the longest chain is with 6 carbon atom. So we have to consider this as a parent compound, and then we have to choose for the substitution. Okay, so we can see here two kind of substitution is there. At 4 position it is methyl, at 3 position it is ethyl. So we can find that why we have nomenclated the position in this way, like from left to right and not from right to left. So the answer is we have to check for the priority. In case of the substituents, when two substituents are present like ethyl and methyl, we have to check alphabetical order. So according to the alphabetical order, ethyl comes first. That's why we have to start numbering in this way, like from left to right. That's why we are doing it 1, 2, 3. In 3 position, ethyl is substituted. At 4 position, methyl is substituted, and we are going to get 3 ethyl, 4 methyl, and as the number of carbon atom present in this chain is 6, then it is a hexane. So in this way, you can check whether those examples are following the same strategy for nomenclature or not. If it is an unsaturated one, the suffix would be "-ine" for double bond and "-ine" for triple bond. The seniority of the triple bond is more than the double bond, which in turn prior to single bond. Accordingly, we have to use suffix and prefixes. Let's do some example to follow it. So we can find here some example, like here we can see that one double bond is present, as if it is a 4-membered chain. 4 carbon atoms are present, and one double bond is present. That means it is in, and it is but, and the position is 1. So but 1 in. So if two double bonds are present in such kind of situation, what we are going to nomenclate? So if it is like this, like 1 position, 1, 2, 3 position, we are going to get 2 double bond. So we are going to nomenclate this compound as but 1,3-diene, because 2 double bonds are present. That's why we are nomenclating as diene. So if it is like 3 double bonds are present, we can nomenclate it as triene. Some other examples are also given here. We'll check with this one, where both double and triple bonds are present. So in such kind of case, triple bond is acting as the parent functional group and double bond is the secondary functional group. So we always have to consider that the numbering will always start from double bond. So in this case, if we start from double bond side, we can see that the final nomenclature will be 1,3-hexadiene. Next, we have to check the nature of substituents, whether those are simple ligands or complicated one. Complicated ligands means whether those are polydentate or substituted monodentate ligand. So with some example, I am going to explain this thing. Let's see ammonia. Okay, so when ammonia is the ligand, it is a simple one because it is monodentate ligand and the attachment size, and there is no other substitution present in this case. Okay, but in case of methylamine is a monodentate ligand, but it has a substitution, and the substitution is methyl group. That's why it is considered as a complicated or complex ligand. Okay, so in case of this one, as if the number is 2, we cannot use di, which usually we are going to use. We have to use the prefix as for complicated one. For number 2, when the ligands are 2 in number, then for simple case it is di. For complicated one, it is bis. So in case of 2 amine group present, it is diamine. In case of 2 methylamine group present, it is bismethylamine, which is representing 2 complicated, which represents presence of 2 complicated ligands. So in this way, we are going to nomenclate. Now we have to check for the principal and secondary characteristic groups. Those are listed priority wise in the table. Thus, if both acid and alcohol functional groups are present in the single organic compound, then acid is the primary functional group and alcohol is the secondary one. So the compound name will have the suffix of carboxylic acid or oic acid, depending on the nature in which we are going to nomenclate, and we have to use hydroxy as a prefix because alcohol is the secondary functional group in this case. So let's practice some example for better understanding. Here are some examples to decipher our learning. Let's take this example. Here it is 2-methyl-3-pentanone. So we can see that 2 substituents are present. C double bonded O, which is a keto group, which is the primary functional group of this compound, and methyl is the substituent. So in which way we have to start? We have to start in the way where we are going to get the lowest number for the substituent. So in this way, we are going to see that it is 2, number 2 position. So we are going to choose the first one, that is from left to right, because the numbering will be less. So the final nomenclature will be 2-methyl-3-pentanone. So we can check another example. Here carboxylic group is present and double bond is also present. So when we are considering carboxylic group, so their different perspective is possible. Okay, so if carboxylic acid is present, definitely the primary functional group will be carboxylic acid and double bond is the secondary one or substituent. So we have to check, and by this time we already know that from where to count. So it is like from the primary group and where the substituent comes in a less number. So in this way, we are going to check 1, 2. In 2 position, in is the substituent present. So if we consider the carbon atom of carboxylic group, the number of carbon atom is 5 present in this compound. If we are not considering the carbon atom of carboxylic group, then the number of carbon atom present in the ring is 4. So we have to nomenclate accordingly. There are 2 procedures. if we are considering the carbon from the principal functional group, we are going to use oic acid. So oic acid is the suffix, and the number of total carbon atom present in the group we have to write. So here we can see that at 2 position double bond is present, so the nomenclature will be 2-pentene 1-oic acid. Otherwise, if we want to consider it as a carboxylic acid, it will be bu2-in carboxylic acid. Now I am going to discuss about monocyclic rings along with heterocyclic rings and their nomenclature. Without any heteroatom present, the nomenclature is quite simple. We just have to add cyclo as a prefix and the job is done. But in case of a heterocyclic ring, we have to follow Hans-Widman system or HW system, which is discussed here briefly. So you can see that here I have given the seniority order of the heteroatom present in a group. So according to the seniority order, we have to give the naming of the compound, and according to the size and saturation of the monocyclic ring as well we have to consider. Okay, I am going to give some example. It will be easy to identify that. So let's take this ring. So it is a monocyclic ring with multiple heteroatoms present. So what are the heteroatoms? We can see oxygen, sulfur, silicon and nitrogen. So from this order or the priority order of the seniority of the heteroatoms, we can see that oxygen is higher priority with respect to sulfur, then nitrogen, then silicon. So we have to name it accordingly, and it is a monocyclic ring without any unsaturation. So first just check with the ring size. 14 number of atoms are present in this ring, so the numbering will be tetradecane. And as if it is a ring, it is a cyclic system, that's why we are going to add cyclo as a prefix. Now we have to name the compound according to the priority of the seniority of the heteroatom. So we know that oxygen is the highest prioritized according to the seniority of heteroatom. So here 2 oxygen atoms are present. We are going to start the numbering with respect to the oxygen atom. So we have to choose like this. So as we know, the sulfur is the next priority with respect to oxygen, that's why we are not going to clockwise manner, and we have gone through anti-clockwise manner, because in anti-clockwise manner we are going to get less numbering position for the sulfur atom. Okay, so we are starting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for silicon, then 9 for oxygen and 12 for nitrogen. So here 2 oxygen atoms are present at 1 and 9 position. We are going to write 1, 9 dioxa, 3 thia, 12 aza, 6 zilla, cyclo, tetradecane. So we can use the same concept when it is a cyclic ring with unsaturation. So how we are going to nomenclate it? So one example, let's take this example. So what would be the nomenclature according to the Hans-Widman system? So oxygen is the heteroatom, the name will be oxo. So it is a 5-member ring, go for it. So 5-member and unsaturation is present, so it will be ol. So it is written as oxol. If it is 5-member ring without any unsaturation, then it would be written as oxolane. In case of any polycyclic system, we have to check bridged or spirocyclic system. For a bridge parenthydride, first we have to check what are the number of the carbon atom present in the alkene. Then you have to identify how many cycles are present. Okay, so next thing is we have to write the bridge descriptor. So how you are going to mention bridge descriptor? First, the naming, the numbering will be normal Arabic number, and it would be written in a descending order, and we have to use full stop for separation, and we have to use a square bracket to separate it. Then the numbering will always start from the bridged position, and the number will be definitely from highest to lowest string order. In this way we have to write. So let's take one example to elaborate this thing. So you can see that here is one system. First of all, you have to check how many carbon atom is present in this ring. So it is 7 carbon atoms are present. In absence of any kind of unsaturation, definitely the suffix will be N. So it is a heptane. So we have to check what is the, as we know that the numbering will start from the bridgehead position. So here this is the bridgehead position. You can see, identify the heteroatom, and we have to prioritize that to give the minimal numbering position. Okay, so in this way only we are going to get a minimum number, that is 2. That's why we have started the numbering from this position. The name will be 2 as a bicyclo, because due to this bridge position 2 cyclic systems are formed, and the name of the bridge descriptor will be written as 2.2.1. Total 3 bridges are present. Okay, and we have to name the bridge position atoms in a descending order. Okay, so we can see that here the number is 2 bridge position atoms are there, then 2, and here 1 bridge atom is there. So the numbering will be 2 full stop 2 full stop 1, and overall thing will be separated with respect to a square bracket. And what about the spiroparent hydride? Spiro ring is a compound in which rings are connected by a single atom. So it will form a spiral kind of structure. That's why it is a spiro compound. You have to check the number of spiro junction, then you have to check for the bridge descriptor. So you can see in this system, decane, 2 heteroatoms are present. One is oxygen, another one is nitrogen. As we know that oxygen is senior with respect to nitrogen, so the ring is going to get the priority with respect to oxygen. Numbering will start from this the spiral position. Just next after the spiral position the numbering will start. So 1 2 3, so 2 oxa. In this way we are going to nomenclate 1 2, so 2 oxa 8 as a spiro, because it is a spiro compound, not a bridgehead compound. In the bridge descriptor, because 2 bridges are formed, right? So we have to write how many atoms are present in the bridge position. So here 1 2 3 4, 4 and 5. But in case of spiro, the value will be from lower to higher order. That's why we are writing 4.5 decane. Here set of rules are given by which we can determine how to give numbering in different situations in any kind of organic compounds. What will you do if stereocenters are present? So, check for the tetrahedral stereocentric position and name it for the absolute configuration as R or S. Always keep the lowest priority group at the back position or far from you, and check whether the priority order will be 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to check that 1, 2, 3, this order is clockwise or anti-clockwise. If it is clockwise, then the name will be R. If it is anti-clockwise, the name will be S. But we always have to keep in mind that the lowest priority group in that particular compound should always be far from your side. Again, if double bonds are present in any system, how to nomenclate? So if double bond is present, the name will be E and Z isomer. So if same priority groups are present at the same site, then it will be Z isomer. If it is present in opposite sides, then it will be E isomer. Okay, so I have given one example. Here you can see that both methyl group is present at the same site. So same site means cis. So it is a cis 2-butene because double bond is present, and it can be written as Z2-butene instead of cis, because we know Z means same site and E means trans or opposite side. So if it is in the trans position or opposite position, it would be named as E2-butene. We will practice one configuration considering the presence of stereogenic center in an organic molecule. So here is the molecule. Definitely, first of all, we have to check for the long chain in the structure. So According to this, how many number of carbon atom present in the chain? And we can see that a functional group is there. Okay, so we have to check what are the functional group present. So first is the longest chain, then is the functional group. Then if double bonds are present, then we have to check whether it is E or Z isomer, and we have to go for the stereochemical center. If tetrahedral stereochemical centers are present, we have to nomenclate it as R or S configuration. Okay, so this is the thing we have to do for doing any nomenclature. Okay, so here is an example. Here how many carbon atoms are present? In the longest chain it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 number of carbon atoms are present in the longest chain, because this one is short one. So according to the longest chain, the name will be hepta. Now in this 2 double bonds are present. So we have to check double bond should get the lowest number. So the numbering will be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 position. Here it is 1 and 5, 2 double bonds are present. So in 4th position there is one hydroxyl group, which is making this position a stereochemical tetrahedral center. And we have another stereochemical tetrahedral center which is at this side. According to the number, we have to give the prefixes. Okay, so 1 at one position, it is in the trans. The same priority group are at the trans position. So the name will be E. 1E. Then 2, 3, 4 position is the stereochemical center. And if you consider according to the priority order, so you can see that it is like the priority is oxygen, the priority will be more 1. Then this one is the priority 2. Then 3, and 4th prioritized group is hydrogen, which is present in back. So we have to consider 1, 2, 3, which is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means it is given the name S. Okay, because lowest priority is at the back side. So 4S, 5Z. 5Z, why it is Z? Because both the same priority group are present at same site. That's why it is Z. 1, because in one position substitution is present. So what is that substitution? The one position substitution is 2R, 2-hydroxy propoxy, because it is a 1, 2, 3 propoxy group, where in 2 position hydroxyl group is present. That's why it is named as 2R, and as if it is a tetrahedral center. In the same way, if we consider the naming, we are going to get 2R, 2-hydroxy propoxy as a substituent, and this substituent is present at the 1 position. That's why it is written as 1. Okay, 1, 2R, 2-hydroxy propoxy, hepta, because it's the longest chain is 7 member, 1, 5, diene, 4 all. Okay, so in this way you are going to give the nomenclature for the absolute configurations as well. Hopefully, this brief video will help you to easily nomenclate organic compounds. Do some practice. If you find this video helpful, please do like, share and subscribe this channel. Again, I will come with another interesting video. Till then, bye-bye.